Hello, welcome to Skye Sweaty Record Review, episode number 34. It's the only online new music record review show hosted by a French professor who has just gotten off an elliptical. Now, usually that means that I am at my home and leaving the YMCA, but today I am in the beautiful Marriott Hotel in Peabody, Massachusetts. You can tell from my beautiful surroundings here. I am in the middle, I think near Route 128, popularized by the Modern Lovers. And it's nice here. It's Thanksgiving. But I'm still here for you, my sweatpants. I was told that sweatshirts sounds too much like brown shirts. So I think I'm going to call my fans sweatpants. But that doesn't matter to you. What does matter to me, what does matter to you, oh geez, Thanksgiving, is this little piece of paper here with my review of Part Chimp. Now, once again, I have to admit that I was drawn to this band by their name. Just even saying it, Part Chimp, is quite agreeable. The name of the album seems to segue very nicely with the name of the band, Part Chimp, Cheap Thriller. It's kind of got that sort of punch to it, a kind of satisfying, mouthfeel to their name. And I think that actually matches the band very well. They're a heavily distorted, guitar-driven, grungy, heavy, metal-y, noisy band. Like making a lot of noise. But they never abandon melody. They never abandon song structure. They're actually really quite enjoyable. I think they are very much, as their name would indicate, part chimp, cheap thriller. Just say that once. I'll give you a chance. You at home, okay? I'll do a little Dora the Explorer. Can you say part chimp, cheap thriller? Okay. That was enjoyable, wasn't it? All right. I think I'm going to review the album. So I got a spinny chair, which I'm not used to. I shouldn't be given a spinny chair for this show. I'm going to take one song and use that to describe the entire album. Now, I can't always do that, but with this album, it's very consistent all the way through. This song is called Dirty Sun. Now, the title itself, I think, much like the title of the album, matches the sound of the band. It's deceptively interesting, first of all. Like, you hear it and it just sounds kind of like these grungy guitars and this, cool booming drums. But it keeps developing until the point where it's actually feedback. It's this kind of dynamism that they play where feedback goes up and then he starts to sing something. And it has this interesting dynamic to it. And if you just listen to the album without paying much attention, it feels like there's very little dynamics. It's basically all the same sound, all the same song all the way through. But more attention reveals that it's really quite layered, and there's multiple parts. Like, a couple minutes in, they have this sort of harmonized melody, which is really quite pleasant. And I don't know, I almost think of this as being like Soundgarden without the suck. By that I mean I just don't like Chris Cornell. I admire his work, I recognize his influence, but I don't like his singing. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. So this has a lot of that feel. I mean, they're not quite as technically they don't push that hard in that way. But that way that at least I felt when I first listened to Soundgarden, I'm just loving this super just distorted, strong, like that feeling. Like, if you want to hear that, but not the way I just did it, like with real music, you should listen to Part Chimp, Cheap Thriller. There's one only real song that breaks from that general pattern. It's called Into Tomorrow Midnight, which is a little bit slower. And for the first time on the album, the vocals come up. In general, the vocals are pushed down. They're behind this sort of wall of guitars. But you can actually hear the lead vocals. And if the band is watching, and they're not, but I would say to play more with that. Play more with the slower, a little quieter songs. Bring the vocals up. They have a really good sense of dynamics, but I don't know if they know that. Like, it seems like they could really exploit that more. But it's a really nice, interesting, fun album if you like hard rock, if you like noise, if you like guitars. Apparently they're from England, which comes through only in that one song, Into Tomorrow Midnight, because you can actually hear his accent a little bit. But other than that, I would say it's highly agreeable. If I had to give a 3-word review, I would take that metaphor that I was pushing in the beginning. It's dirty sun rock. Like, dirty sun doesn't make sense, right? Because the sun is bright. It brings the light. It brings the clarity. But dirty, because it's kind of distorted. And the vocals are a little bit hidden behind, and it's a little bit samey, but not quite. So if you like the idea of part chimps and dirty sons, this is your record. As far as the trivia goes, this one I've been thinking about. The question was, and I've never put the question in there, but what footwear did Skye wear to the gym? What is my official? People always ask me. I get hundreds of questions on AMAs on Reddit, thousands of questions from my 20s of subscribers. What footwear do you wear, and are you sponsored? Well, I of course only wear Johnston & Murphy's wingtips because I'm terrible at packing. Okay. Until next time, when I am back at the YMCA, I will say, as I always say, my sweatpants. Ooh, that's not gonna stick. There's the camera.